Welcome back to another episode of the 116 Live here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM Channel 140. Man, shout out to everyone that's even in the building right now. We got a little audience going on here.
Yeah, we do.
And everyone who is watching,
soon.
Listening, man, we are appreciative of everyone tapping in. Once again, as always, my name is Mia Evans. I am one of your hosts for this phenomenal show. And as always, I got Ace Harris in the building. Ace, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Mia. Good to see you. I feel
Good
like
to
we're
see
kind of
you.
matching again.
Kind
the
of.
Hat,
The hat. We're really simple. Like,
Simple.
you know, like not too much. See, we're still
Me
locked
tapped
in.
in.
All right, so I feel like it only made sense for us to do an episode centered around the incomparable, the highly anticipated every single year annual 116 summer playlist, man. And it's the A&R takeover, y'all. We got not just Ace in the building, but we got Dre, we got Solomon. The A&R team is here. Fellas, how y'all feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling great,
good.
man. Just excited to be at the tail end of the playlist, man. I'm really excited to see how the artists are affected by these songs that just hit the market. So, yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Last year's playlist was so good. And every year after the playlist releases and I listen to it, I'm always like, so what are they gonna do next year? Because it's like, how do you go just raise the bar? And I'm not gonna lie to you, y'all did it again. I really love the double release, you know, doing disc 1 and disc 2. Going into preparing for the playlist this go around, what was the goal? What was the mindset? What were the conversations had around what we wanted the playlist to be this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely tried to start a little earlier this time just to kind of get ahead of it. And we felt like, as me and Dre were kind of working through some of the initial vision of it, we kind of felt like we needed to do something different. I feel like this would be year number 7 or 8. I can't remember which year we are. But when you're doing something for like 7, 8 years, you got to kind of innovate and keep it fresh. So we had this idea to like do 2 discs. Some of it was strategic. Some of it was also like desperation because we wanted some music out.
Yeah.
And we were kind of running behind. We wanted to like, okay, what if we put like one touch point and that'll kind of give us some time to finish the other records as well. So, but the excitement for the fans was like top tier and it was just something different, something fresh.
You guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is when we first did the 2 disc idea, I seen some of the comments and it was like people were kind of disappointed at we did 7 songs the first time.
Oh yeah, it was 7 songs. Yeah,
We did like 7 songs, and I just wanted to have fun with the fans. I like commenting back, so I just seen one of the fans like he was like analyzing the whole thing. He like, 7 songs. See, man, Reach, I don't know. And then I just put like the eye emoji, like, oh, maybe you're right. And he was like, wait, did I overanalyze it? You know what I mean? But I love seeing that in that 2-side, the 2-side disc idea, like it really like added a storyline to the release outside of just us just dropping the project on y'all and leaving. You know what I mean? So I love that about it. Like I love that they got to something to follow and they were able to analyze it and then spend time with the first half, and now they're gonna have time to spend with the second half of releases, and all the artists kind of get light shined on them individually. So yeah, I think you know, the way the whole team came together and collaborated on how we were going to put this project out was really dope. You know what I mean?
You know what? I got to shout out Dre on the 2. It just came to my memory. Do you know how this idea was prompted, bro? It was actually your idea. I'm gonna give a little backstory. So we have also been doing like this idea of a fall playlist, which is like melodic R&B music. We've been working on this since like 2022. So we've had like camps and sessions. And maybe we're giving that too much info, but it's all good. And we just couldn't quite figure out how to package the R&B or the fall playlist.
Yeah.
So what was a joke in the office? After summer we would work on the fall playlist, and then we weren't done in time. So we were like, all right, we'll call it the spring playlist,
Right.
and then it was gonna be the winter playlist. And so we had this idea once we kind of were backed up. I think maybe 2 years ago was like, what if we just took the summer playlist and split it into 2 sides? One with like core hip hop, which is the expression that the fans already kind of know. And then we took the second half of it and make a disc 2 of like the R&B side. So that idea was, I think it was your idea back in like 2022, 23. And it was parked there and we never could quite like develop it. So,
Okay.
So you kind of originated this to blame Dre if y'all ain't like it. So
Okay.
it was my fault.
I'm gonna put it on the whole team. I think we brainstormed together. If you love it, we brainstormed it. If you hate it, I'll take it. I'll take it.
No,
leadership.
I've heard a lot of good things. So let's go ahead and dive into side A. Then, are there any songs that you're surprised it had the impact that it did? Solomon, I'll start with you.
I would say I'm a little bit surprised at Waymo. I like the song. I think I didn't expect it to be received. I think I've never had like a whole bunch of people reaching out like, hey bro, I just want to let you know I really love the production on Waymo. I'm like, oh, thank you. And then like 3 more people hit. I was like, okay, thank you. But I was surprised at like the feedback. I think even like I don't think the song really has much content out either. And the fact that it's still like doing pretty well, like on the the 116 catalog right now on the popular tracks on Spotify. I think it's pretty telling as far as people liking it. People.
Well, you gotta tell the story how you made that joint.
Yeah, bro.
So there's this guy named Kappa.
Shout out Kappa.
Shout out Kappa, man. I actually have been following him on Instagram for like a while and just listening to some of his music and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Like, let me just reach out and see if, he can pull up. So he pulled up and he brought, some of his crew and stuff like that. And there was a producer named Kanan that came with him. I think he's like 17. He's actually, I think he's in Alabama. So I thought that was really cool. He's very, a younger guy, kind of, making a lot of noise with the some of the underground like Christian artists and stuff like that. So I started making the beat and stuff like that, and then I was just kind of like in a flow state. And then he was there. He was there with me, and I was like, you know what? Let me step back. Let me let him, contribute, something too. So he contributed to it. I was like, oh, this is tough. Like so, we finished this together, and then, yeah, man. Then we did some posts. I think there was a camp, right? Ace?
Yeah. So I mean, what Solomon also leaving out is. So Solomon handles a lot of our A&R administration, that's contracts, royalties, business affairs, a lot of that processing. And he's also talented and has a creative ear. And him being one of the youngest people in the A&R team, we were having a meeting and I was just like, hey man, go bring a record, man. All this, man, look, you have good input, you have good advice. Man, go bring a record. I kind of challenged him. I'm like, you produce, you're tapped in with some of the younger CHH artists. Go find the artist, go produce the beat, go bring us a record. Like, and he kind of just took that and brought back Waymo. So
the thing about Solomon is like he's really tapped into the underground Christian hip hop community. Like it's a lot of new artists that I never heard of that Solomon is always like, yo, have you heard of Kappa? Have you heard of KJ Kemp? It's like so many people, and these guys are his friends as well, you know what I mean? So it's always a good sign to see an A&R who's able to like really enter into a community that's untapped and build like thriving relationships and then bring it full circle into a major, I feel like this is like Reach Records is like a major platform, you know what I mean? And he's able to, like even last year he brought in 404 Chew and KJ Kemp, and he's able to bring these underground artists into a major space and make and help create sonics that match what we're trying to deliver, you know what I mean? And that's super unique and dope, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and still keeping their style too, you know, at the same time. I feel like a lot of artists, you know, y'all seen on the internet, like artists are like, oh, like I got signed or I work with a label and they try to change like, you know, my sound and my whole thing. And I'm like, how can I admire, you know, the creative input that the artist has or whatever they come with and still make it consumable for, you know, particular, you know, fans or whatever demographic, you know, that, you know, Reach has. So I feel like that's a fun challenge, and I like, you know, figuring out how to combine those two worlds together.
I think you tapped in, brother.
No, for sure. I want to talk a little bit about Rest 2. Shout out Limo Blaze. Oh man, it's such a good song, even like listening to it as well. And honestly, I feel like that one's even getting a lot of traction as well. Ace, what do you think it is about that one that makes it really special that people are gravitating toward?
Sure, yeah. I mean, normally with remixes, you don't have this. I mean, sometimes remixes can be hit or miss, and Limo just kind of like, he's such a like leader in the space. And so on this remix, he had this idea of having Reggie from Bridge Music lead it. And I think what was dope and very selfless about Limo is not afraid to share the spotlight on his records, right? So sometimes when there's remixes, sometimes the lead artists don't like not coming on until like 2 minutes later. Limo's like, nah, Reggie, to make the remix exciting, it almost feels like a new record because now you're singing your verse and then you're singing your hook, and it gives it a new life versus the remix just being the same version and then it's like the featured artist on verse 2. So it's a different way to do it. And the cool thing about the summer playlist, even for our own roster of artists, which is kind of a hack. So obviously we have the summer dates kind of locked in, and we want to also serve our current artists, and we want to give them a sense of like care and priority, right? But I've always told our roster of artists, if you have songs that you're working on and want to drop in the summer, or if you have songs that are like remixes or different versions or maybe like lighter drops, but you don't necessarily want to do your own like lead rollout campaign for that single, the summer playlist is a great like container for those options. So we've done that in the past. And so Limo was like, yo, why don't we just put this on the summer playlist? And it kind of worked out great. So I think we've done that on a few records, even like with Anike last year on Holy Girls, which is like, hey, you got something coming, drop on a summer playlist. It's like a preview to your single rollout for records coming after that. So yeah, that's how it works.
That's smart. I think another great thing about the playlist is the fact that artists get the opportunity to shine underground and the ones that are here in-house. Dre, what would you say is important for people to know about the artists that are spotlighted on Side A?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think all of those artists work extremely hard to be a part of the Reach playlist. A lot of them, man, I just want to give a shout out to the team and the rapport that they built with a lot of these artists, because we're asking them to take 3, 4, 5 shots at the same record.
That's true.
And I think because of the community we've built with these artists and how safe they feel with us, they keep taking those shots. You know what I mean? I just seen a post this morning from this is Side B, but an artist named Jelani Austin, and he was just saying like how the team made him feel at home. And I think, what I want to say with Side A is like, thank y'all for trusting us, you know what I mean? And like being, not even understanding the strategy of how we was going to release it, but just trusting us on, I trust them so much and how we try to take care of them when they're at these studios I trust that y'all are going to do well with releasing this project. It was a lot of times when we were asking for post-production. I remember Nate coming in for Scars.
Yeah, talk about that. Yeah, Scars.
Yeah. So when Nate came in for Scars, he actually sent me a untitled link with like 4 demos in it. He was like, yo, Dre, I've been holding on to these demos for months. Just choose one. And I heard the Scars record and I was like, I think this is it. But the production wasn't there yet. And there wasn't, and Eris Ford wasn't on the record yet. And I remember grabbing the record and I was like, yo, we got to take this, but you got to make it like industrial, bro.
And Dre started casting vision,
and I'm like,
it's over with.
Yo, is it cool if I bring in another producer? And Nate was like, Dre, wait, man, like, I can do this, man, right? Like just like that. He gave me the spiel like that. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. He's like, Dre, I could do this. And I was like, okay.
What he said was stop doubting me, bro.
Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. And he came and he drove into town, I believe. Don Reddy was in the studio with him. And they went in there and they worked on it. Yeah. And I left the room and I remember coming back probably like 30 minutes later. Yeah. And the drums were amazing on that thing.
I was in this room over here and then I walked out. I think I went to go get like water or something. And then I was like, what is that? And then I went in there, I was like, yo, this is hard.
So yeah, the drums were amazing. And Nate, a lot of times, I try to put as much as creative decisions back on the creatives because it's like, that's what you're here for. That's why we got you. So I was like, yo, we need a young, like, female artist on this. Like, do you have anybody? He was like, what about Eris? I'm like, Eris is dope. You think you can get her? He was like, yeah, that's the homie. And he sent it to her with no instruction. He just sent it to her with a demo, and she sent back that amazing performance.
Cute.
And her vocal production on that just kind of like highlighted how talented she is, because the decisions she made as a creative were, to me, like extraordinary. And to go back to your original question, what do I want to shed light? I want to shed light on side A1, being the first people to like trust us in the process, and also kind of like setting the tone for what side B was. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, because the Sonics we were deciding on was kind of like, okay, I'm not sure, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So even though they didn't understand it, they still trust the process, you know what I mean?
Even
so
as a listener, and we'll get into this next, because next we're going to talk about side B, and there's a lot of things sonically as a listener were very surprising, and we're going to dive more into that right here on the 116 Life on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM Channel 140. We'll be right back. And we're back here on the 116 Live here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 140. Mia Evans here with the A&R team of Reach Records. We're talking all about the summer playlist. Okay, so y'all, be real with you. There were a lot of sonic decisions and artist pairings that caught me off guard that I personally wasn't expecting. Shout out Spencer Kane. I've been tapped in with Spencer for a very long time. And I was very excited to see him a part of the playlist because I think he's a great artist that should be spotlighted. When I heard the song, I was curious to understand why specifically that type of, you know, sonic direction, and even also R&B artists on like Talented's song, the Focus remix, hearing R&B artists. But the thing is, when you hear it, those are two of my favorite songs. I thought Spencer did such a great job. It was a great decision. You guys really went a lot of different directions. Even Breeze on New Friends as well was a great kickoff to the playlist. Dive into a little bit about the sonic direction that you guys, how you're kind of experimenting, adding more flavor and texture sonically on this playlist.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea was, I felt like Reach has been the front runner for Christian hip hop, and now we're kind of leaning into Christian R&B. And the idea was, how do we push the sonics forward in the space, period? You know what I mean? It's like, the goal is, after you hear the summer playlist, you say, if you're a new artist on the come up, you say, oh, we can do that too. Oh, okay, cool. We can compete at that level too. It doesn't have to always be a certain sonic. We can also try and experiment as well. So the whole point of this year's playlist was like informing the culture, like, hey, experiment, try more new things. Be as competitive as you want to be with your sonics. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's the base and foundation of why you got those different textures.
And I want to also highlight Dre, something that he was very adamant about when we started this process, which was, you know, historically, summer has a sound that's like brighter, a little bit more fun, a little bit more major, and just like happy, for lack of a better words. And that's great and cool. And a lot of the songs on the playlist in the past embody some of those sonics. And I think Dre made a good call out in that sometimes those sonics can feel leaning too Christian, like niche, right? Like, and not that it's bad, because there's songs that we've done that I love that are part of our playlist that have that brightness. But Dre was like, I want to push the sonics so that they feel more and more like raw and a little bit darker and more mature. And that would probably be more in line with the state of current culture. And if we don't achieve some of the commercial success because of those decisions, we don't care. So that's kind of what, and because at the end of the day, sometimes doing the thing that always works won't yield the results that's worked before. You have to like kind of be progressive and ahead of where culture is as Christians, right? Which is where culture is as mainstream, to like be on the post and always looking back, doing the kind of bright summer decisions. We didn't feel like it was a good fit for this project. You know, I hope that I encapsulated that right.
Yeah. I think a lot of it does. And to add, it's important for the music to be able to extend past the year it was made. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Like, I feel like a lot of this music is going to be like over time, people, if you don't get it now, over time you'll start to understand it because every decision was intentional. You know what I mean? From what, you know, the new friends, you mentioned that with Breeze, it was like those, well, Markel now, he's done a name change.
Shout out Mark.
So,
Tell me, he said wait till after the playlist drops.
yeah.
Oh,
I don't know when this episode coming out, but he should announce by the time.
Right.
But yeah, so Markel, putting him on that record, in those type of sonics, we always kind of every record we have him on, we usually like play with the sonics every year.
That's true.
He's on something so like dynamic because of his versatility. So that was something I'm like, how can we even push it further and like give you a stadium record? You know what I mean? So that was the intention behind that.
That's really good. And I'm happy that y'all brought that up just because I think that's the beautiful thing about being creative is that there are no limits, really. You can really do whatever. And changing things up keeps us on our toes as listeners. And the last thing you want to do is keep doing the same thing or then it becomes expected. Then we get bored and then we check out. So when I saw the song with Spencer on it and I didn't hear R&B, but I heard this alternative, I was more leaned in, you know? And then hearing it as a whole, it's like, oh, this is phenomenal. I would have never heard that. Yeah. So that's so beautiful. I'm happy y'all tapped in on that. The best part for me about the playlist is learning about new artists. In side B, we hear a lot even more sounds. Having Bianca Silver on, love that song that she's on, Vision. And Solomon, what would you say about the artists, the new artists, what they brought to the playlist this go around, especially on side B?
Yeah, I think they brought a lot of just extra creative energy. I feel like in your younger years, there's a lot of specifically the like young adult years, there's a lot of uncertainty around, you know, life and like, you know, different things. And I feel like that brings out, you know, a certain level of vulnerability that's just very present at that time. So I feel like just a lot of relatability, vulnerability. I feel like they brought some different creative decisions because like I was saying earlier, you know, we want to try to, you know, not necessarily change the sound of the artist, but just push whatever they're doing like to the next level. So I feel like it kind of allowed us to explore like some new territories, like with the Bianca Silver record. Like we were just like, no, because I think the song was gonna be like a different like type of song at first, and then we were like, no, let's like let's try to see, you know, let's try like a drum and bass or something like that, or see like how we can make this thing sound, you know, not different, you know, to just be different, but like what do we actually hear and what would like complement this song the best, you know? So
and I think a lot of the new artists, like, you know, I think the women have, for the record, the women on the summer playlist have been killing it, honestly.
Like, every year.
And I think this year was no different. I can start with an artist, Hillary, who was from Norway, who's Filipino descent. And you guys are probably familiar with her because she's been killing it in culture on the algorithm, doing R&B music, but has a faith background. And I had, you know, discovered her music and I was in LA and I DM'd her and got in contact with her manager and went and met with him for a couple hours. Great dude. And so we're sitting in LA. This is probably like, 7-8 months ago. And he's just playing me some of her demos. And he plays the early draft of What Is Now Solid Ground. Yeah, and I'm like, yo, what is that? Her vocal tone is like stellar. Like she's a real singer. And she's so cool and young and just really fly. And so, I heard that record. I was like, yo, Julian, what you doing with that? And he was like, I mean, it's just sitting here. So I'm thinking, that's another cool thing about working with new artists. You can kind of grab or develop some of their ideas that they didn't have a plan for, but could be developed into a dope idea for the summer playlist. And I loved the idea of like, man, what if we consider it for our playlist and, you know, throw Lecrae on it? And so he loved that idea. And Lecrae, who has a high bar for talent, he was like, man, Hillary's amazing. And it just all came together with Taylor Hill. And that was just one example of like the women killing it. And just also like it's an R&B record with like a rap feature. A lot of the songs on the summer playlist, a lot of them are like melodic records with rap features. Yeah. Which I think is kind of the post in culture right now. Melody's just killing it. Not that rappers ain't, And speaking on that, I think there's another record that kind of has a hybrid of melody and rap, which is And the Women Killing His Focus remix.
Yeah.
You gotta tell the story about that.
I'll go deeper, man. So Taylor Tent was brought to my attention from Solomon, once again tapped into the underground. And he was telling me I need to meet with her team. He was like, yo, you need to meet with Taylor Tent's team, man. She's this dope artist. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll do the meeting. And they brought her in. She had about 2,000 monthly listeners at the time. And so they brought her in, and she started playing her catalog, unreleased music. And I'm like, yo, you're like Lauryn Hill. Like you're like, people don't know, like from the records that you heard out, I felt like, I don't know if these records are really showing who you are, because I don't think she even had any rap records out. And I'm like, yo, you were gifted. And so, it just hit my spirit. I was like, look, man, I don't know if we can do anything with you right now. You're so early in your career, but, I definitely want to keep building with you. I'll open up the studio to you and your team. Come work, just work on records. I'll help you strategize releases. We can't sign it, but we can support you. Because one thing at Reach that we're big on is not only are we trying to build our roster and build our label, but we're trying to build the kingdom in the community at the same time.
100.
So if there's talent out there that we know that, this talent could help the kingdom in the community, it's like, why not pour into it? We have the resources. So I was like, look, come use the studio. You get high-end equipment to be able to record your songs. And she ended up doing that. Her and her team took me on that. And they were booking sessions through Solomon to come and record songs, and she landed on this record, Focus. And I remember they walked me in, and she was like, yo, I just made this song because the producer, he was engineering for me, so I wanted to write to his beat. Like, I didn't want to, and I was like, let me hear the song. And they played it. I'm like, yeah, that's your hit. By the way, that's the record. And mine, she's still at like 2,000 monthly listeners. I was like, and then she was like, yo, what do you think? Should we put like one of the Reach artists on it? And I was like, no, you need this artist for you. You need this artist you need this song for you. I'm sorry. I said, you need this song for you. Because the thing is, it's like, you have to shine first. You know what I mean? And so I thought it was important.
Shine for Jesus.
Yeah!
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He shine for Jesus.
Hey, come on.
He was being selfless, making sure she got the record that she needed so she could shine for the kingdom.
For the kingdom.
What kind of A&R do that? They'll tell you, no, let me get what I want out of it. But no, he said, you need this for you. Because God want to do something with you. Because you so talented.
Come on. Let's go.
Cue Mia's response. Come on, Cray.
Hey. What's raw in that, man? That's real.
Craig got me that one time, because usually I can see Craig. I mean, he's 6'1,000", so I can usually see him. That one time he got me.
I kind of flinched. Ain't gonna lie.
Yo, nah, that one was crazy. Yeah. What did he cut, bro? I don't know, bro. Hey, that's amazing. Look,
Shut up.
Look. Do I finish the story, or is that it? That's it.
Yeah, keep going.
But yeah, felt like she needed the record for her. And then also, sometimes it's kind of good for us to see that it's your talent that the people are gravitating to. So she ended up putting that record out, and it actually kind of started going viral. Sarah Jake Roberts ended up reposting the record, and then that's when I approached her team and said, hey, is it okay if we do the remix for the summer playlist? And I had this idea for the remix since she created it, but it was like, it has to be right. It has to be at the right time, because my thing is, I don't want anybody buying into just an idea, right? It's like, you have to see the vision. So when it started going viral and everything, that's when I started approaching the artists and asking, did they want to be a part of it? And the thing about the women in this space, Christian hip hop and Christian R&B particularly, is they're a community, man. They support each other. They have a whole group chat, by the way, that, they really support each other. And for them to pull in Taylor Tent the way they did, from Levi's, Adia, Childlike CC, Anike, Toya Love, Queen Lee, like Portia Love, all of them accepted her immediately. There was no sense of competition or anything. They seen her talent. Like there's studio footage of them like, yo, girl, you need to put your bars like this. Like they giving her advice on how to, do things. They were willing to go shoot the content with her. It's like the community is there, man. The women stand together so strong, and I think that's needed. And I feel like the Focus remix shows that.
It really does, man. I can't. The moment you hear it, even hearing it, the outro of hearing everyone say the chorus together, you just hear
it's
the
so
community.
Genuine.
It's so genuine. You can feel it. And when we come back, we're going to dive more into the playlist right here on the 116 Live here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM Channel 140. We'll be right back. And we're back here on the 116 Live here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM Channel 140. We're talking all about the summer playlist. We got the A&R team in the building, Solomon, Dre, and Ace. Okay, Ace, I want you to dive a little bit about Skywalker, but not just about the creation of it, but even things that happen behind the scenes that you want to fill people in on.
Yeah, so like Skywalker, shout out RG, man. He just, I've said this on the podcast before, so it's not a shade to any other artist, but he is a unique talent, one of the most talented artists in the Christian hip hop to me, in terms of his taste and his vision for music. And what's dope about this song is like there were literally so many decisions on the A&R front. It was a team effort. So it was What Up RG, you had Gio, you had his producer Loge, who works with pretty much Gio on everything. It was Carvello and me, us five. I mean, it was a group chat, and every decision we're all chiming in. It started, and I don't want to give away too much, but sometimes what we do as an A&R team, we carve out time to like prompt ideas. So I had like a little melody, kind of a hook idea, and I had a Carvello loop, and I just did a little something to it. I sent it to RG, and he liked it. And me and Dre were actually in our office while RG was here working on the Heaven on Earth Foot Locker campaign. So the proximity was helpful for the playlist for that moment and for the Ecleso and the what was the other artist on FFG Freestyle? That's 350.
350.
So anyway, RG heard the idea, and I kind of lobbed it out there. I was like, yo, RG, I think it'll be dope if you and Gio caught one. Because a little bit of context on that, Gio had already texted me about a potential feature for one of our artists who I can't say. So whenever artists reach out about something, I hit them back, or I might need you on something too. So it's a little swap. So the record came out, got the hook done, got RG's verses on it, and then Gio was like, man, I want to come down and lock in to work on my part versus like doing like the mobile, like virtual kind of creative cook up, which is how a lot of records are made. And I appreciate Gio for that. He was like, nah, I'm driving out from Nashville. Me and Loge, my producer, were coming to Reach, and we locked in and we worked on that record with RG. We're in the studio, they're cutting, they're vibing. And the producer Loge is like taking my notes on drums. And literally the beat was passed, which I think is a good nugget for producers and artists out there. So I do think classics are created in community, as in the right number of people other than yourself helps the record to become better. On the flip side, I'm not saying you need 10, 15 people to make a good song.
Right.
What I am saying is a group of 2, a group of 3 is better than 1. A group of 4 is better than 3. 4 or 5 gets a little crowded, but that's a good like window. So it literally was, again, me, Carvello, Loge, RG, Gio. That's 5 people, and we're the creative decision makers on this song. Every drum pass, every lyric, every performance, we're going back and forth, rounds and rounds, every mix edit. And it was a real like team effort, even so much so down to the final master. Gio and his producer Loge were like, because after the song cut, there was a horn part that kept going. And he was like, man, I think we got to cut that. The song should just end right at the chorus. It'll make people like want to play it back again. Me, I was trying to flex the sauce of those live horns. I was kind of show off a little bit. I was like, these horns are amazing. You got to hear them one time by themselves. And he was like, nah, just cut it. And I listened back and I'm like, oh, it's those decisions that were made in community that made the song, like, in my opinion, really special. Because it's every decision. And even the clap came from RG. And then Carvello's, it's my 808, but then Carvello added a kick on top of it. It's Logue's drum feel on the chorus, but then RG arranged it to chop it. It's just so many collaborative moments on that record. So yeah, classics are made in community. I think my biggest nugget is 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 2, 4 is better than 3, 5 is better than 4, but 6 gets a little crowded. I ain't gonna lie to you. So if you can, a group of 5 people working on a record, or 4 is a sweet spot, I feel like. So it's good. So yeah, that's my TED Talks. But Dre, I think other than like the creative part and like decision making and A&Ring records, I think there's a lot of wisdom from the playlist that artists can glean from in terms of like what decisions to make, to even like how Talented did, to make strategic viral moments, to make collaborative moments. What are some of the nuggets you can drop from this playlist that can be helpful for other artists?
Yeah, I mean, I think, understanding that what songs are being used for. When on the Focus song, you have a chant line that is obviously great for social media. So it's like immediately understanding like, okay, this song may be a good song for TikTok or IG. Versus you have some songs that's great on radio that doesn't do as well on social media.
That's real.
So you have to be able to hear and know the difference if you're either the artist or you're part of the artist team. I think as A&Rs now, that's something that we have to be able to recognize is like, okay, this song is a great social moment record. You know what I mean? And it's okay to come out because it's going to help with the storyline. I always say that you're not only thinking about, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of over engagement culture. Like the whole, what's the engagement on social media? What are the DSPs saying? What is the analytics? Like I'm over that. I'm like, yo.
Why is that?
Because I think the truth is the reason why we love artists is the underlying storyline that we followed through their careers. You know what I mean? It's like the why did you go on tour? The why did you do that record with this artist? The why. So I'm like, if we're only following engagement and metrics, you don't create a storyline. If the only reason I'm releasing this song with Solomon is because Solomon has 100,000 monthly listeners and I need access to that, it's like that doesn't do anything for the audience.
That's good.
But if me and Solomon are best friends and you've been seeing us on social media every day and then we release a song, that's a part of the storyline. Right. And so it's like, even if you faking it, give the audience something to watch.
That's so
it's
good,
the entertainment business. Like, let's entertain the people. That's not like just try to keep up with the metrics. The metrics is telling us that we're making great creative decisions, but the metrics shouldn't determine the creative decisions we make.
Right, they can't inform
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. That was a good idea that we came up with, because there's some things that are just like unexplainable, which is, why every time something new comes out and it blows up and we're like, how did this work? None of the metrics said that this will work. But the audience is looking for something more to attach to. Right. And so I think, I understand metric culture and I understand engagement culture, but I feel like, what drove people to go back and go see the Jackson 5? Was it they had 100,000 monthly listeners? Or was it they killed that show? Did you see how he turned to his brother on that chorus and he did the split, and then they came up with a whole scenario on stage? Or, there's a classic scene on the Biggie movie where they start like our classic moment in hip hop where Biggie was on stage at a college and they started fighting on stage and it was a part of the set.
Right.
And people talked about that. You know what I mean? It's like, we have to create cultural moments, and we're forgetting about cultural moments because we're trying to keep up with engagement. And what are the
I think the Focus remix is a great example
of a cultural
moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And I think the metrics will support that over time. So shout out you, man. Great.
Yeah.
Yo, Drake for president, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Jeez, dude.
Come on, man.
Man, you tapped into that perfectly, Dre. Just because even beyond being an interviewer, you can genuinely hear those things through the music. And I'm the exact same way. I've been really big into just finding the multiple different ways of how broader storytelling is than even creative. And when you hear nearly almost more than 5 women on a track, and then you hear this camaraderie in this outro, you know what I'm saying? There's something bigger there, so therefore it pulls you in for an artist that people may not have heard at first, but then now people are tapped in.
Even to add to it, if you go to each one of their social media accounts and you look at the comments, you see all the girls from the song supporting each other. You know what I mean? All that matters, right?
Community.
So it's like I didn't just put 8 people together that didn't know each other, that didn't rock with each other. These people been talking to each other every day, you know, before this song was made.
And I saw that on side A too, like specifically like Syfe commenting on what's his name on Scars, Don Reddy's post,
And having genuine,
and then like everybody's kind of like posting and resharing. So it's just good because it feels like a movement. It feels like a united front, and people like to see people either together or divided. They don't. So the algorithm, it likes chaos or it likes community, which is, as Christians, we want to double down on the community part.
Right.
Obviously, we've seen the spikes when there's controversy, but when it's just indifference, it doesn't move the needle as much. It's not exciting to see people not care. Care about something, whether negative or bad. What do you care about? And I think we're showing that we care about Christian hip hop. We care about Christian R&B. We care about this kind of niche faith adjacent market that I think as Reach Records, Dre would say this, Solomon would say, I think Lecrae would say too. We care about stewarding this community well, and the playlist is a great way to do that. Even shout out one of our interns, Donnie, who a Berkeley College intern, and gave great feedback. And so the playlist is a function of a lot of people nitpicking, contributing, pushing back, pulling in, and giving us what we hope is our best offering. Do we always hit 100% on the head? Maybe not. But what you can trust is there was intentional care and actual prayer put into the music. So,
Absolutely.
For sure. Solomon, what is there any A&R nuggets you want to share about after looking at the scope of everything that happened with this playlist that you feel like the audience would enjoy to hear?
Could I ask something too? Yeah, could I add to that? Yo, what you doing to them drums, bro? Yeah. Give me them secrets, man.
Honestly,
Condre.
bro.
Not Kanye. Condre.
What's going on? Why are these Waymo?
bro?
So no, really, why are the Waymo drums?
He's an aggressive questioner. Like
No,
his question,
I need to know this because I asked privately and I don't get the answer. So I'm asking publicly. Why are the Waymo drums so alive? What did you do? What is your thought process? What's going on?
So honestly, man, what Ace was just saying about praying over the session, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's something, especially as believers, we have to do, bro, because it's like setting the tone for why we're doing this is so important. You know what I'm saying? It's like every time we do a session, we're gonna pray first.
Okay.
Anybody, you know what I'm saying, I'm working with, you know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying? You already know this. So it's like, I feel like that's a very intentional step you gotta do first before you start. And then also, shout out Kanan. I did most of like the melodies and stuff like that. And then, like I was saying earlier, like I was kind of, in the flow state. And I was going to go ahead and, start on the drums too. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, you know what? Like Ace said, you know what I'm saying? 2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
So I was like, let my brother, work on this too. So he did a lot of the drums on that particular record. And I kind of was like, hey, change this, change that. You know what I'm saying?
Is
Make
there
sure
any
it was good.
VSTs or anything that y'all be using?
VSTs, I would say Analog Lab is really good.
Okay.
I like Analog Lab
What
a
is
lot.
that, drums or is that?
It's like synths.
Synths, okay.
Yeah. All the like analog vintage synths and stuff like that. They have like emulations of those. I would say I really like using OTT. It's free, by the way. So if you want to go get that right now, you know what I'm saying? OTT is great. I feel like it has an upwards compression feature.
Okay.
That brings out a lot of the like small nuances that sometimes you can't hear in certain sounds, and it kind of like brings those to the forefront. So it sounds like more.
Well, what are you putting those
texture.
on?
Bro, sometimes I'll put that junk on whatever,
Okay.
So
Dre trying to like.
Drake said questions that need to be answered.
Got it.
got a plan.
OTT.
But yeah, but if it's a sound I feel like that needs like beefing up a little bit, I might throw that on there. I probably mostly put it on like melodic sounds, but I have put it on like some snares, stuff like that, to kind of get that Kanye, kind of snare sound. So sometimes I'll use it for that.
So if I could go down the line, if you could pick one song that's been stuck in your head without thinking about it, what would that song be? Ace.
I would say it's Fight because of the part that Tori Deshawn wrote that my toddler son keeps saying, I want all the problems. He be singing that, John.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not a hook that's like really repeatable, but it's still kind of sticky. And I think it's like it's dope when you can make a hook that's not like so like classic on the nose repeatable, but it's still like interesting. And that I want all the problems, it's kind of a vibe. So yeah, I would say Fight for me.
Good, Dre.
For me, Scars, just the melodies that Spencer chose. Spencer originally wrote that demo, which is why it's like it made sense for him to sing it. But yeah, the melody, I just felt like everything on that record was really high level. You know what I mean? Okay. And then yeah, it's just super memorable melody, expensive melodies.
Solomon?
I would say Akleso's verse on the Waymo song.
Oh man,
I feel like that one was just different, bro.
Yeah, he went crazy.
He went different. I built his whole like, cause I was in the studio with Dre. He was like, bro, we need something different for the Akleso part. So I literally made like more parts for the beat and like kind of built it around his verse, and it just kind of like gave it like. It just was fire.
Shout out to Jay on that Somebody hook too, though.
That's the one that's been stuck in
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have asked you.
No. That you answered it. I love the start of Vision. It feels like house music. It just feels so good. But Jay's chorus on Somebody has been earworm for me. And one thing of course, as we wrap up this episode, correct me if I'm wrong, but the tagline for this year's playlist was "The message can't be divided." Was that right?
Yeah. Right.
Is that right?
And that kind of speaks to what I said earlier. You know, well, you're not in front. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was it. Sorry, I should know this off top.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
I've been in the audio world, but yeah, I think it's good that it's a truth that I want to cling to. I want people to. The message cannot be divided. Almost like it can't be separated. There can be separation within conflict or in the church and the body, but the gospel is never separated. It's always stitched together. Always together. Me and Dre can have a disagreement, me and Lecrae, or me and you, or different artists, or unfortunately unnecessary competition, but that doesn't divide the message. Yeah. In fact, that message should draw us more together. Yeah. Because we should not care as much about who got the biggest stream, the biggest song, biggest platform. Right. Yeah, there's friendly competition on trying to get better for the purpose of the craft, pushing us towards excellence. Right. But at the end of the day, we're not going to stand before God and say, hey, look, our song crushed more than yours. We're not going to have that conversation. I know we're not. So let this message not be divided and let us be unified in the body to present great gospel music, great kingdom music that pushes us closer to Christ.
No, for sure. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I get proud every year. This is kind of like you listen to this music that, for me personally, being in the space for 13 years, and man, even then you're thinking, oh, this is so great. Then you hear it progress, and you hear it also what it's also doing, even doing in mainstream as well, and seeing, of course, those metrics and things like that, but then even also the story behind it, the real community that's behind it, the work, the nuggets that go behind it. So I think I speak on behalf of everybody where I say we're so grateful to y'all for always just pushing things forward, being progressive, doing the things that we don't expect, because we enjoy it at the end of the day. And shout out to everyone who's been enjoying the playlist, man. Make sure you're sharing it with someone that you know. And even people that you don't know, because I think it's beautiful to be able to hear the thought, the intention that goes behind it, because then in the excellence that goes behind it, because then now honestly, the numbers don't lie, the reactions don't lie at the end of the day. So shout out to everyone, shout out to the whole Reach community, and shout out to everyone tuning into this week's episode. That's another wrap over the A&R takeover for the 116 Summer Playlist, man. Shout out to everyone that enjoyed this week's episode. We got Solomon, Dre, Ace, and Mia Evans checking out. We'll talk to you guys next week.